Fox News host Governor Mike Huckabee joins us now. We have interests over there, that's clear, Governor, but so do they. So where are they? Because so far the only ones who have volunteered to help us, if we go in there militarily, are Australia and Great Britain.
What we really have is blood that's being shed by people who don't live in the neighborhood. And the people who live right next door, they're more than willing to make a little contribution. The Saudis gave $100 million to the United Nations effort. You're seeing some comments by the Arab League. That's all fine and good. But you know what, Megan, until some people in those countries are willing to get in the fight and put their sons out on the battlefield, I think the United States needs to say, guys, we're not going to spill American blood to help you guys who won't get out of your palaces and out of your just obscenely wealthy endeavors and get out here and stop this nonsense yourselves. It's enough for America to have to not only finance the fighting of ISIS, but have to also pay for it with the blood of American sons and daughters.
I mean, it's hard
and
for
I
us
think we need to say to these nations, that's it.
It's hard for us to say that because we, of course, are vulnerable potentially as well. And we worry about our interests over there, and we worry about our interests right here at home. So we can't just sit back and say, you do it. But after 9/11, Governor, the UAE, Turkey, Jordan, they all sent troops to help us in Afghanistan. What about now? Well, I mean, are they likely to send troops? Because so far, they're not volunteering.
No, they're not volunteering. You know, the president keeps talking about, I've got a pen and I've got a phone. Well, let him get that pen and write down the list of all these countries who are going to be far more affected and much more immediately than we are. But you're right, it will affect us. And then get on that phone of his and call these guys and explain to them in explicit terms that we've got to seal off our own borders right now. We've got some problems here at home. We've got all this whiz-bang technology, and yet social media is now able to attract these young kids and radicalize them. Mm-hmm. You know, this is crazy. They're using 21st century technology to recruit a bunch of kids so that they can take us back to the 12th century.
But how
and I don't think a lot of people are understanding that.
How is he supposed to do that, Governor? Because right now he did say today that he's sending John Kerry over to the region to try to develop this coalition. I mean, I don't want to get into the disgusting details about what ISIS does, because that's what they want. They want us to get out here and spread their propaganda and build their brand as the most barbaric group that ever lived. If you want to find out what they're doing, just use the worst recesses of your imagination. They've done it all. Why aren't these other countries, who are right there? I mean, they want to go into Jordan. They want to go to the UAE. This is their goal. And ultimately, they'd love to come here. But they're first. They're in the region. They've got shared borders. Why wouldn't they be stepping up and trying to lead in some way? I mean, it just seems like we're the only ones. We're it.
You know, Megan, the first principle of leadership is this. Leaders never ask others to do what they're unwilling to do. And I think what's happened, nobody in the world thinks America really means anything it says. Whether it's the red line in Syria, whether it's telling Putin that he shouldn't be advancing into the Ukraine,
which he
whether
is
it's telling
right now,
Hamas to stop firing rockets. Nothing is happening. And nobody trusts us anymore. And why should they? We are like people who watch a Western, the old-fashioned Westerns from the 50s, and Megan, we can't tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. And you can't do that if you're out on the golf course or raising funds. If you're going to build that coalition, you're going to have to come off the golf course, get away from the fundraisers, and do the job. And that means you're going to have to be on the phone. You may have to get on a plane and look some of these guys in the eye and explain to them how the cow eats the cabbage, as we like to say down south.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds profound. I'm going to Google that during this commercial break. Governor, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Megan.